Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's guest is CJ Boyd, and I hope I pronounced it right. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, me too, and you're welcome. And I read about that your name is Kathy Joe, and your friends are calling you CJ.
Yes.
Wow, this is so amazing. You are a former cafe owner and you turned women's empowerment mentor. This is difficult. You always used to introduce yourself as just a wife, a mama of seven, and a former cafe owner. And then you lost everything during COVID. Is that right? You lost,
That is
and
correct.
several things happened. Maybe you can tell us about that, the turning point of your life, please.
Okay. All right. So in the time frame of 6 months, my 21-year marriage is self-imploded. My youngest child of 7 left for the Air Force. So I was no longer a 24/7 hands-on mom. And my cafe was closed down during the pandemic. And I had to figure out, hold on one second. It's trash day and the trash man decided to come right now. I
Oh,
apologize. And my cafe was closed, and I was like, all of a sudden, I no longer was all of those labels, and I had attached those labels to myself, and that's what in my mind, that's what gave me value. That's what identified who I was. And so I had to really just sit with myself and go, okay, you have to decide. You can either become a statistic of circumstance, or you can embrace this pivot as a catalyst to do something different in your life. And so I had to decide, who was I at the age of 50? Who was I? What did I really want to accomplish in my life? What did I want to be known for? And really what it came down to is I had to sit with myself and ask myself for the first time ever, what did I want for my life? Not about my family, not about, raising my kids, not about somebody else's vision for who I should be, but who I really wanted to be in my life. And so that's how I started embracing the pivot, using that as a change to be able to use as a catalyst to do something different. And that's what birthed Queen by Design.
wow, I love that very much what you said. And if I understand it right, I know during COVID, most of the cafes and restaurants were closed also in here in Germany. So you decided to close it forever, so to say, to not
Yeah.
reopen it again. Yeah.
I went through the numbers. I didn't have a paycheck. I didn't have anything coming in. All of the money that I made from the cafe, I invested back into it. And so I went through the numbers, and it would have taken me 2 to 3 years to recoup the losses. And I wouldn't have been in profit. It would have just put me in a bad financial situation. So I decided to go ahead and sell.
Wow. And what inspired you? Yes, we know this, but to go into the women's empower coach to to go into that and not, for example, going into accounting or something
Well,
something.
one, not accounting because I don't like math. Going into women's empowerment coaching, I realized that there are a lot of women out there just like me. I couldn't be the only one feeling this, that when I talk to other women and I ask them who they are, they're always so and so's wife, so and so's mom, employee for such and such a company. And it was never really about who they are at the soul level. And so I thought it's really important for us to all realize that we have something that's deep inside of us that's lying dormant that we need to open up and realize what that is. And as we're little girls, we have all these big goals and dreams and visions, and then as we grow, we take on somebody else's idea of what we should be, and we forget who we are at the core. So it's my vision, my mission, to help women remember that, to help women come home to themselves. Everybody is always talking about becoming the best version or another version or the next version, when in reality, I think we need to come home to who we already are. And that's what Queen by Design is for me.
Wow, that sounds great and also logical, even though we know there's no logic when it comes to intuition or so. So we go back to childhood and we look what excited us back then. And then we start all over and ask yourself, what would we love? What would we love? And then, yeah, we find it. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much for sharing. And I have another question is, who inspires you? That means, did you have a coach? Do you have a mentor? Or
It's not just one person, it's a combination of women that I've come in contact with. First and foremost, my mom inspired me. My mom, as a child, my mom was always working hard to provide for us 4 kids. My dad left, so my mom was the sole provider. And just watching her struggle and in that desperation to try and give us everything that she could on her own. So the hard work, the work ethic, the value of living in integrity with who you are and doing what you say you're going to do. She was my first inspirer. But then many teachers throughout my course of, schooling that believed in me until I couldn't believe in me. School was my escape. Women who were my teachers were, give you the pat on the head or the pat on the back and say, you're really a good kid. You're going places, you're going to do things. So looking back on those situations, knowing that somebody else believed me, and I want to be that person. I want to be that for someone else. I always tell every woman that I come into contact with who join my business or just have conversations with that I believe in you until you believe in you, because I really need that. Every single woman needs that. And it's not just having one person that inspires you, it's having a community, a sisterhood, a circle of people, because we get something from different people. Everybody's not a cookie cutter version. So we need all those different types of personalities to really get the best out of life.
Wow, that's so true what you said. A strong community and different persons, because the persons are, you didn't say this, but that the persons are reflecting yourself, your whatever your qualities or what you have to work on at that moment. So they help you to shape that form. We don't say you want to become, because you said we already are. We have to find back or find the way back. Thank you so much. My next question is, how do you inspire other people?
I think I inspire other women by being in integrity with who I am. I always tell everybody they have a conversation with is I'm not out to sell you anything. I'm not out to get your money. I'm not out to change you. I'm here to help you remember who you are, to dig deep to those core values, dig through the limiting beliefs and uncover that thing that makes you uniquely you, because everybody's trying to be a cookie cutter version of everybody else, when in reality, every individual authentic piece of us is needed for the tapestry of what is life. We all need to interlock our piece with somebody else's piece to be able to build that, final puzzle that is life. And I think I inspire people for the fact that I speak my truth. I'm honest. I'm in integrity with myself. Boundaries is a huge thing. And I want other women to really to hone into their own boundaries, not only with other people, but with themselves. When you say that you're going to do something for yourself, actually show up and do the thing that you say that you're going to do. That's the very first step in beginning to lay that foundation and believing in yourself. And I think just, what you see is what you get. I don't try to sugarcoat things. I don't try to make other people feel good. It's not that warm and fuzzy thing. It's like, if I know that you're bigger and better and meant for more, I'm going to call you out on your stuff. And I'm going to help you to really see that for yourself. And so I think my unique way of inspiring is just, like I said, what you see is what you get. I'm not going to try and make you into someone else. I'm going to really hone you in on your skills of who you already are and help you see that for yourself as well.
Yes, I totally understand, because I was in a discussion the other day about, yeah, let's say the quality of coaches, right? And you talked about, and it's difficult now for me because it's not my mother language, so I tell myself that it's difficult. You talked about copy, to be a copy. So when there are coaches out there, they teach you something and you have to copy them in order to, or I had the impression that this is the program. Do as I show you and you get successful, kind of that. And I love what you said, and this is the opposite, kind of opposite. You don't want to change the person. You help them to find the uniqueness, or I don't know, I'm I'm playing with words here, but I think I understood the uniqueness, because everyone has their own way and also their gifts and talents. And this would be my next question to you. What are your gifts and talents?
Well, I think my number one gift is my heart. I used to think that is it was a detriment. As a kid growing up, everybody used to say, you're too emotional. You wear your heart on your sleeve. And I used to think that was a bad thing. And now I realize that that's really actually my gift, is being empathetic, being willing to see other people for where they are. I want to meet people where they are, not where I want them to be, not where someone else thinks they should be, but where they truly already are. Because you can't start building a foundation to, build something amazing if you don't really own who you are at the core level, at your values, your morals, your skills. So I think that's really my gift, is really coming from the heart space, really telling the truth and speaking from my heart, and really genuinely caring about what their goals and dreams are. There's so many coaches that, say, I can get you to scale to 10, 20, 30, 50K months. Let's be honest. Some people can't even wrap their brain around that kind of money because they've never had that in, their lifetime. So it won't excite somebody to be thinking, oh, I can make 50K, because they don't have any idea of what that even feels like. But to really have somebody come home to remind them of a great memory as a child, or some dream that they had as a child, and, really bring that vibrancy to life, that's what it's all about. And that when you feel that feeling and that emotion in your heart, that's where everything starts. And that's where you start to love yourself again and can really build from that.
Oh, I love what you said so much. You feel it in your heart. And I want to ask you about when you said this is your greatest gift, your heart, and has it to do with vulnerability, your ability to be
Mhm.
vulnerable a little bit? You know what I mean? It's not,
Yes,
it's not my
absolutely. I
native
mean,
language. Okay. Mhm.
vulnerability is a superpower. If you can really own who you are, if you're trying to become something you're not being honest with who you are. If you can be vulnerable and be like, okay, I look in the mirror and I don't really love the gray, and I don't really love the crow's feet and the wrinkles and the freckles and all the things. If you can't really love that and honor that, you can't build anything. You can't go anywhere else. So you have to really get honest and be in the down and the dirty and the knit and grit of everything, and really be able to be vulnerable with yourself, because that's all starts within you.
Okay, I see what you mean. And I came across a TikTok. I think it was Simon. How is his name? Sinek. You know this person, I think. And he said something about friendship and I think sitting with a friend in the mud when the friend is going through a hard time. This is
Yep.
related to what you said. You know
Yeah.
what I want to say, but yes. And how important is it to have those people who support you, but they are not going there, but they are present and they are sitting with you until it's over or something? Can
Yeah.
you
They're
explain?
they're in the muck, in the mud with you. They're wallowing in it with you, but they're not dragging you down, and they're not pulling you out. They're allowing you to be in that emotions, in those feelings, and feel all the feels while you're there. Because if you just sugarcoat it and then jump out, somebody helps you out of that mud, but you've never dealt with like the cuts that got the sand in it, you don't clean those cuts, you're never going to be able to go anywhere. So having somebody to really be in that space and hold spaciousness for you to heal those wounds, that's going to really help you. So I think sisterhood, I call it the sisterhood circle. I'm building a community of queens, because we all have that inner queen. And so that's what I'm building. And that's really what it's about, is linking arms with other powerhouse women who know that they have a big mission and value, but they don't know that they can do it on their own. So we don't have to be all doing the same thing, but if we link arms, we can help build one another and get each other to that space that we want to go. Because we're not all going to the same destination.
That's so true. Thank you so much. I understood something here, and I have to watch the replay. Of course, there were so many nuggets. Thank you so much. And my next question is, what is your goal for 2024?
My goal is to impact and help support 147 women to become their own queen by design, to be in abundance, in wealth, in health, in every single area of their life. Because most people think it's all about the money, when in reality the money's a byproduct. The money is what you get as a end result of putting in the work. And for me, it's the inner work of helping every woman that comes into contact with me feel bigger and better and more capable, empowered when they leave their space with me. So to have 147 women doing that, the idea of the ripple effect of 147 women having a handful of pebbles and tossing that into the ocean, and those waves, we can continue to reverberate and build this massive momentum, this wave of change for women to create impact around the globe. That's my goal.
Oh, that's so true. What you said, because it's not only the 40, you said 47. And
147.
47, and it is all of their network. Everyone has their network, and then yeah, it's this ripple effect. And how did you come to this number 147? It's by
It was just a
intuition?
it was just a download. Like I have a willow tree in my backyard that I planted in memory of my mom when my mom passed, because that was a childhood memory. She would make lunch for us four kids, and we'd go sit under this willow tree and have lunch. And I was just sitting under it one day when I was having a rough day and I was missing her, and I'm like, I just really need guidance on, who it is that I'm to help. And the number 147 came into my head, and that's what I'm running with.
Oh, I absolutely love this number. And I also love downloads from the soul, or from, yeah, like you, how you did it and how you describe it. Thank you so much for sharing. And I have one last question for
Yes.
you. And it is, when people reach out to you now, after listening to this episode, do you have a special offer or service for the Inspired Podcast community?
Well, anybody who reaches out to me, I'll give them a free 30 to 45-minute session with me. And it's not about selling them anything. It's about really digging deep to figure out what their hopes and their goals and their inspirations and aspirations are. So it's, I call it a discovery session, because then we're going to dig deep and uncover those things that they're really wanting to do. And then also brainstorm together a path for them to take, so they can start taking actionable steps to get them to what the goal is that they want to reach.
Wow, thank you so much. This is generous. And please reach out to CJ. Maybe may we call you CJ?
Yes.
We can
Yes.
become best friends. CJ, okay, thank you so much. And do you have a last message for our audience, please?
I just want every single woman to just really be able to go in the bathroom and look in the mirror and love what you see looking back at you, to really own who you are on every single level. Do not try to change yourself to make somebody else happy. Truly make yourself happy and love who you are, and connect with yourself at that soul cellular level before you try to do anything else. Because if you're trying to do something to improve somebody else's life, or to make somebody else happy, or to do something for somebody else, you're forgetting about yourself. And we all really need to lead by example. So really lean in, love yourself, and then lead by example and put that out into the world.
Oh, thank you. This was the best message. Oh, I have to watch the replay and listen to it over and over again. And I have to go to the bathroom now. Thank you so much. Finding my
Thank
mirror. You were my mirror for this time. Thank you so much, and see you in the next episode.